Shalom, this is your brother Shamar from the Phoenix camp. And with that being said, I want to give all honor, glory, and praise to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rakakadash. Double honor to the elders of Great Millstone, and peace and salutations to the brothers that are doing this work with true sincerity. And we're going to jump right into the lesson. This is Romans 12 and 11. It says, not slothful in business, fervent in spirit, serving the Lord. So that key word that I want to get is the word slothful, lacking in diligence. Lagging in diligence, Lakia. And that's what you got to watch out for in this truth. Sluggish, tardy, that is indolent, irksome, grievous, slothful, sluggish, slothful, backwards. Because if you stay in that slothful lagging of diligence in this truth, you're moving backwards. You're not moving forwards. That means you're not growing. And it's important to watch yourself, man, because what happens is this flesh can bring you down. This flesh gets weary. This flesh gets weak, and it plays on you, man. It plays on you to not be as diligent as you can and should be. And that doesn't only apply to the truth; it applies to all areas of your life. Your job, your own personal growth. Discipline and diligence combat slothfulness and laziness and procrastination. That's a weak mind state, man. Procrastination and undiscipline is a weak mind state. The scripture talk about girding up the loins of your mind. So to have a slothful, procrastinating spirit is it's an illness, man. It's an illness that can lead to your destruction, because an illness is something that causes harm to you. And being slothful and procrastinating, it doesn't do you any good. As a matter of fact, it does great harm to you. If you're not diligent in your diet, you can become unhealthy. If you're not diligent in your studies, you can start lagging in the spirit. If you're not diligent in maintaining a healthy body or whatever, however you want to call it, because those things are all important. Those things all form the total man. Then it can cause harm to you, man. And when you come into the truth, it should be an improvement of all areas of your life. So let's run that back again. So not slothful in business. And the main business is the doing of this work. Yahweh Shai spoke about doing his Father's business. So the main business that we are to be careful not to be slothful in, or that lagging in diligence in, is the doing of this work, man. And it happens sometimes. You get into the flesh, you get tired of, you get weary from work or whatever, and you start lagging. And all brothers have gone through that. But when that happens, that's when you got to catch yourself, man. That's basically when you got to kick your own ass. You got to get mad at yourself. You got to judge yourself. You got to reproof yourself. But it's better that you figure out your own problems and solve them, than let them get to a point where another man has to get on your shit. That's all part of maturity. So it's not slothful in business. So we're going to get the word slothful in the Strongs. Tardy, once again, tardy, slothful, backwards. In business, get the word business. Haste with haste, earnest, diligence, earnestness in accomplishing, promoting, or striving after anything. So don't be lagging in diligence and striving for growth and doing the work. To give all diligence, interest oneself most earnestly. It said, not slothful in business, fervent in spirit, serving the Lord. Rejoicing in hope, patient in tribulation, continuing instant in prayer. So slothfulness is just going to make your hell even worse, man. Slothfulness in this truth, in any area of your life, it's only going to be a detriment to you. It's just going to make your life harder when you really think about it. There's a saying in the world, they say, there's the pain of discipline and the pain of regret. And the pain of regret it hurts more than the pain of discipline. So let's get a few more scriptures. Let's get Proverbs 6 and 6. And discipline is basically a fight of the spirit versus the flesh. And it's something that you gotta be on. You gotta be on it at all times, man, because there's days where you gotta Sabbath is a day and it's a time of rest. It's a time to meditate upon the word, a time to relax yourself, man. Take a nap. If you worked a hard work week, you can stay at home and rest. You don't gotta be running around doing things. A matter of fact, you're told not to on the Sabbath. It's a day for you to take rest, man. Pray, meditate. Just decompress from the pressures and bullshit of this world. Let's get Proverbs 6 and 6. It says, "Go to the ant, thou sluggard. Consider her ways and be wise, which having no guide." I like to get into the words here. Leader, overseer, or ruler, provides for meat in the summer and gathers food in the harvest. So the ant is a insect or creature of the Most High that is very very highly efficient and self-sufficient. It has the foresight to gather up for the gather up for itself for the future. It says, "Go to the ant, thou sluggard, consider her ways," and the ways that they're going to talk about the ways of the ant, and be wise. So having the mentality of the ant is wisdom. It says, "Provide us her meat in the summer and gather her food in the harvest." So a self-sufficient mind state where you foresee things and you provide for those things before those things become a problem or necessity. And that's what discipline is. That's what wisdom discipline is, man. Scripture talk about the prudent man foresees the evil. Let's go ahead and get that. This is Proverbs 22 and 3. It says, 20, there's two of them. Proverbs 22 and 3. It says, "A prudent man foresees the evil and hides himself, but the simple pass on and are punished." So a prudent man foresees the evil. I mean, he sees whatever troubles is coming ahead, and he takes the precautionary steps and measures to avoid those situations. It says, "The prudent man foresees the evil and hides himself, but the simple pass on and are punished." Why? Because there's no planning, there's no prudence, there's a lack of understanding to do things correctly in the man. Another one, Proverbs 18 and 15 says, "The heart of the prudent getteth knowledge, and the ear of the wise seeketh knowledge." So part of being prudent is gaining this knowledge, man. And you gain this knowledge for future use. For when you get into situations that requires that higher level of knowing to come into play, you make the right decisions. Proverbs 14 and 15, "The simple believeth every word, but the prudent man looketh well into his going." See that? The prudent man looketh well into his going, meaning he's gonna take care of his shit. To put it plainly, to put it roughly. So that's what you gotta be on top about. That there's a certain situation coming up or a certain thing coming up, and you take the right steps to take care of that. Let's get Proverbs 10 and 26. So the scriptures speak about one of the characteristics of a man of the Lord, or man that's pleasing to the Most High, is anti-slothfulness or diligence. Let's get Proverbs 10 and 26. And the scriptures tell you that the Most High hates laziness. He hates procrastination. He despises it, because you got to understand, the man, the Lord, you're called to action. You're called to do things, and you understand the nature of the Most High. He's a power of action, a power in doing things, and there's no power in laziness. There's no power in a slothfulness. So we're supposed to be holy like him to him. So we're supposed, like, you look at Howard Shai's perfect example. There was no slothfulness or lack of diligence in him. From a very young age, he told his mother that he must be about his father's business. So there is the example that we have to follow. This is Proverbs 10:26. It says, "As vinegar to the teeth." And what is vinegar to the teeth? It's irritating. And a smoke to the eyes, it's irritating. It's bothersome. So was a sluggard to them that sent him. It's just a pain in the ass. You send a man to do the job and he doesn't do it because of laziness or procrastination. Then that's irritating to the Lord. He gets angry, man. In the Gospels, they talk about the wicked and slothful servant that hid his talent. He didn't get up his ass and multiply that talent. He didn't work, man. He just waited. You can't be in that waiting spirit. We're supposed to wait for the Lord, but the scripture also said that we're supposed to occupy till He comes. So you can't be in that waiting spirit, man. You gotta be in a spirit of constant action and activity. First and foremost in this work. We wait on the Lord for Him to fulfill prophecies, for Him to speed up the process of the destruction of this kingdom. But as He's doing that, as He's taking those actions, we're supposed to be in action also, in effort, in action, in diligence, in prudence. So let's get Proverbs 13:4. And a lot of men they fall into this weakened mind state of not being what they call proactive. They're not proactive, they're reactive. They know there's problems coming up, but they're not proactive versus those problems. They wait till those problems or those things build up to a point where it gets out of hand, and they become reactive about it, and they're not prepared for it. Whether it be a bill they know is coming up, or action or event they know is coming up, they don't prepare themselves for it. They just go day by day in what they call willy-nilly. Let's go ahead and I'll see if I can find a definition for that. This is the dictionary definition for willy-nilly. And I'm going to go to verse definition 2. Without direction or planning, haphazardly. This gets haphazardly. It says, in a manner lacking any obvious principle or of organization. Let's get that. A manner of lacking any obvious principle or organization. So basically, they're just fucking going along, man. Not preparing for nothing. Without direction or planning. Without planning, without method. What does phrase willy-nilly mean? Without choice, in haphazard or spontaneous manner. So you're not like the ant. You're not being the ant. You're not preparing things for yourselves. You're living on the most simplest of terms. So basically, the animal kingdom is more in order and more diligent than a lazy, procrastinating man. You're dumber than a beast, basically. If you're a lazy, procrastinating person, then you're dumber than a beast, because the beasts, they have action and efficiency. They know what they got to do. Because the animal kingdom's in order, man. They know what they got to do. They know what routine they got to follow. But let's get back to Proverbs 13:4. Proverbs 13:4 says, the soul of the sluggard desirous and has nothing. So the sluggard, Let's get the word sluggard. The lazy, they want shit, but they never have shit. Because, like, you don't want it bad enough, I guess. But the soul of the diligent shall be made fat. They're gonna get what they wanted. Because they work for it. Unless you get off your ass and go to work, you're not gonna get a paycheck. Unless you put in the hours, you're not gonna pay your bills. So the soul of the sluggard desires and has nothing. That's why there's some men that they well off and they're taking care of business and they're handling it and they got that right spirit within them, to do the things they gotta do. And there's men that don't. They're in that willy-nilly spirit. They're without direction or planning. And as men, we have to be on a higher level. Israelite men, we have to be in a higher level than that. So you always gotta have that idea in your mind. There's plenty of tools that you can use to get yourself in that habit of diligence. You can pre-plan, write things down, make lists, make yourself a routine, a schedule. Even the prisoners in jail, they live by routine. They have routines where they gotta exercise, where they gotta, make their clean their rooms, make their beds. They have to live and they make themselves be in order. Because what they do that because if they don't, then they're basically they feel like children. So they have to find a way to make themselves feel mature and manly, and that's what manliness is. It's having your shit in order, having a routine about yourself that is beneficial to you. So let's get Ecclesiastes 9 and 10, and just a few scriptures that I was thinking about because sometimes you get in that spirit where you get procrastinating, man, because we're in this flesh and you gotta fight it. You gotta kick your own ass, man. You gotta yell at your own self. You gotta rebuke your own self. Don't let your enemy win. Remember when the enemy be in your flesh. You gotta remember we're soldiers in this thing. It says Ecclesiastes 9:10. It says, "Whatsoever thy hand findest to do, do it with thy might." So whatever that you do, you don't be a half-ass in it, man. Do it right or don't do it at all. For there is no work, nor device, nor knowledge, nor wisdom in the grave without goals. So whatsoever hath thy hand find to do, do with all thy might. That should be like a habit for you, man. Once you make that a habit, then you'll basically win at everything. There's no stopping you. You'll be ahead of the majority of the population. Matter of fact, you'll be in the top 5% of the population, because the majority of the population are lazy and procrastinating. The majority of the population of you Jakes, they have that willy-nilly spirit, man. It says Matthew, the 23rd chapter, that talks about the slothful servant. We're not going to get that. But we'll get Hebrews 6 and 12. And we'll close it out on that. This is Hebrews 6 and 12. It says that ye be not slothful. I'll start at verse 11. Hebrews 6 and 11. It says, "And we desire that every one of you do show the same diligence to the full assurance of hope to the end, that ye be not slothful," so sluggish. So hold on. So it says so had a beef with the Russians. "Ye be not slothful, but follow them who do faith and patience and hear the promise." So even the New Testament, it speaks of not being slothful. So this is throughout all the scriptures, warning, a reproof of having a slothful, lazy spirit. And like I said, it can get to you, man. There's so much distraction in this fucking world that it can put you in a faulty, slothful mind state. You gotta harden yourself. You gotta harden yourself mentally to not soften up to those pleasures and of folly and ease. Do hard things, man. But with that being said, just a real quick lesson. Most I would hope was edifying. Instead, I want to give all honor, glory, and praise to Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. Call Allah Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. Brothers, keep on pushing. Shalom.